Welcome to the Classified Hiring Priority Committee Classified Position Requests Training. My name is Ellen Ingalls, and I want to walk you through how to do a position request. So today's agenda, we'll have a process overview, points to consider, how to access your request in task stream and request portal, completing the request form in portal, the scoring rubric, and any other considerations. So the overview is as such. The department identifies the need for classified staff as part of the program review process. You have until February 3rd, 2020 to identify this and submit. The writer completes the classified position request form through portal. CHP, which is the committee that I'm the chair of, Classified Hiring Priorities Committee, reviews scores the requests based on the scoring rubric and develops a prioritized list of requests. We will do that after you submit, after February 3rd. The CHP committee presents the prioritized list to classified Senate to ensure the process is followed and the Senate's informed. Then we forward the prioritized list to the PI committee for review. And lastly, the prioritized list is presented at the President's Cabinet for review and approval in April. Here's some points to consider. Only one position request per form. This process cannot be used for position reclassification. This process can be used to increase positions. For instance, FTE amount increase, or from a 10-month to a 12-month, for example. Positions that are approved and funded on campus must follow the district approval process. Administration may also fill vacated positions as necessary outside of this list. Shared position requests are first reviewed, scored individually, and then combined for a final average. Utilize the scoring rubric to help guide the depth of information that you'll provide in your responses. Where to find the form. So you're going to access task stream, which I imagine you might already have done. And I will see if I can show you that right now. This is a place where you can find task stream, is at the program review page at Mesa. And the bottom here is the sign in. I have already signed in, and you will come to a spot right here. I'm in admin services, so it's going to show admin services for me. I'm going to go to program review 2019-20. And on the left, you will see request forms, classified position, BARC and FIP. And then it will open this up. We are going to be doing, going to the request form portal. But here you can also see the CHP rubric, which I will open up because we want to have that open side by side while we are doing the request. Here are the criteria that on the left side that we need to, if you're filling out a request, you need to identify the criteria, and we'll get into that a little bit later. So I'm going to go to the request form portal. And I have already signed in to the request portal, but it's quite easy if you haven't done so already to create a password and sign in. And here we are. Enter your requests. We are CHP. And here we are. So let me go back to that presentation. We already did this. We found the 2019. We went to the classified position request. And we did this as well. We went to the request form portal. We accessed the rubric. And we talked about registering in the request portal, signing in, and then clicking on CHP to enter a request. Okay, so here we are at the request, entering a request. You're going to first select your program name from the pull-down menu and try to find one that they should all be there, but if you can't find it, pick one that most closely resembles the program name, and then you're going to click the classified position title. We have a link right here in blue that will take you to the classification of office technical position titles. If you need that, they should all be listed here. However, alrighty. And then you'll go on to answering the questions. I'm going to go to the actual request. So here's all the different programs. Here's all the different position titles copied from the HR classification descriptions. Is this a shared position? If you were to hit yes, then it would be the same drop-down list as the program name up there. And you would select that. If it were a position increase, you would say yes. And is your program classified as CTE? And then we're on to the questions here. So describe in detail the current substantiated need for this position, needs based on current capacity, productivity, increasing demands, growth, and addressing equity gaps. This is the core of what you will be doing. You're going to want to articulate and be persuasive about why your department needs a classified position. You're going to want to use data to your best ability. You may or may not have hard data, but you can have confident estimates. We will be looking, as a committee, we will be looking at use of data and your response. Here's some examples of data to include. So for instance, if it was a student services classified position, you would include some of these details: student contact hours, program enrollment, number of activities. Articulate and thoroughly detail exactly what this position would do, and be specific and detailed as much as possible, and yet also try to tie in how this position addresses and supports our campus equity goals. There is a second question. As a leading college of equity and excellence, if this requested position existed in the department program, how would this impact the department program at our college outcomes, goals, mission, and strategic direction, equity, and excellence? Here is our links to our campus's mission, values, and strategic goals. If you answer some of this in the first question, that is fine. Here you can articulate it more. So what we're looking for is combination of detail, data, and also tying in how the position ties into our greater campus equity goals and mission. Lastly, does this program have the following legal requirements? Legal requirements must be documented with a link. This is not part of our scoring. It's a yes or no. While you are answering your questions, you are going to be closely looking at the rubric. As you can see, here's examples of what the highest level response would be, hitting all these criteria in either question 1 or 2. These criteria can be answered. You want clear, articulated reasoning, data, and attention paid to the goals of MESA, equity goals in particular. So we will be reviewing you are going to review the criterion scoring rubric for guidance on levels of response, as are we as a committee. The responses are judged by their thoroughness in addressing the 5 criteria in the rubric. There are 25 maximum points for the overall request. Again, here's the rubric. If you have any questions, please feel free to call me or email me or any of the people on the committee. We do have a website. Let's see if it links. Here we go. This explains what we do as a committee and also gives our contact information again. And if you have any questions, again, please feel free to ask.